Hi everyone, I'm Soraya Rhea, and thanks for tuning in for my review of this week's episode of Married at First Sight, Season 9, Episode 7. Oh my gosh, y'all, I literally think that this is the best episode of Married at First Sight to date. Like, it was such an explosive episode, and then on top of that, Twitter, as usual, was lit. I mean, I was cracking up the entire time. Oh my gosh. Yo, there's so much to cover. I'm going to try to get through it all. First of all, Jamie left. Jamie gone. And where's Matt? Matt is nowhere to be found, okay? So it is crazy town, all right? Amber is crying real tears, boo-hooing on the phone to her dad. Oh my gosh. This week's MAFS award goes to Jamie. I think Jamie, and when I get to him and Elizabeth, he decided to put in the work. He decided to be mature. He was ready to do the difficult stuff. And oh my gosh, Elizabeth just like threw him. She practically threw him out, you know. Greg is Nigerian. I was right with that last name, Okotie. And I'm definitely hopeful for Greg and Deanna. Like, especially after this episode. Nah, they gonna be good. They gonna be good. They'll be fine. I'm gonna lay off of Deanna. Like, I'll, again, get into it when I talk about them. But, you know, like, oh, come on, Deanna, rush up. No. You good, girl. I do not like the couples meeting up, like, on a regular basis. Again, it's just, there's too much comparison. I understand the support. I understand wanting to be able to, like, vent and tell somebody, no, I don't like that because, you know, it's just too much kiss and tells. All right, let's get started first with Amber and Matt. So all the couples, after they meet up with each other for the first time in their apartment complex, they then each plan, you know, a get together with family and friends. If we remember from Amber's intro episode, she has Sunday dinners with her family at her aunt's house every week. And so she is really excited to be able to bring Matt into this part of her life. That's a big part of her life. So I love that. So on their drive over, bombs are dropped. They... So, you know, homegirl has been talking about Matt Gwen the Fifth, like, since day 2, right? And Matt has never, all he did was smile. He didn't jump on her baby train. He didn't do none of that, right? Well, surprise, surprise, no surprise. She asks him, so what do you think about, like, having babies and when? Homeboy was like, I could see that not now, down the line, 5, 7, 8 years. And Amber is driving. I thought she was going to pull over because I thought that she was going to be like, because she was like, whoa, I'm sorry, whoa. I thought she was going to be like, what you say? But thank goodness they didn't run off the road. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like, in 8 years, I'm going to be old. Talk about she going to be 35. Shout out to all the 35-year-olds. And single. Ugh. Calling us old. But she was like, she made a good point. She was like, if that's what you're thinking about, like way down, and you know, he's probably underestimating the amount of time that he wants. You know, and she's like, you should probably have been with a younger person at that, you know. Matt's facial expressions, like, he just looks so pissed. I think Matt is one of those closet angry people. I'm not saying that he throws temper tantrums, but I think that he could give a hard attitude. Like, I think he will, like, his expressions were just I've been saying from day one, Matt's been the wild card. I've wanted to believe in the hope of all the couples, but I think I will say, unless there is major transformation with Matt through help with the experts and therapy, They're not gonna last. No, it's not gonna work out. Amber's ready. Amber, even though I still think that it's not right that she, was jumping into a marriage 8 months after being in a long-term relationship, but her whole thing was that she kept being with people who were emotionally unavailable. And I think production and the experts were wrong to choose him. First of all, if you go back into the initial episode where they're choosing the finalists, remember Amber signed up with a friend of hers. Amber, why don't you just be with your friend? I mean, y'all both were finalists, so clearly you guys both have really good characteristics. First of all, Amber, you just said that, like, oh, you loving basketball, which I was like, girl, shut up. I mean, talk about like, oh my gosh, I could quote like the whole like movie, and I'm like, I just can't see that. And then Matt over here talk about like, oh yeah, he wanted to name his baby Q. I'm gonna need you to get with a black girl to do that. Sorry. But my thing is, like, remember, her and Q were just friends. And at first it was like, ew, like, yeah, we can't be more than friends. We just friends. So, like, Amber, get with your friend. He clearly wants to get married. The biggest thing that Matt says is that he said it's so wrong, too. Like, he just has no idea. Sometimes guys, they don't get it. So he's like, the thing with kids is that it ties you to somebody forever. And you can't just like walk away. Like if it doesn't work out, like you can't just walk away from that person. That person's gonna be in your life forever. And he's talking like he's like talking about having a baby with a girlfriend or like with a person that he's dating and not with a spouse that you already supposed to have this mindset of forever. So what are you talking about? Like if it doesn't work out? And so Amber is just floored. She is thrown. She is going crazy. And I mean, right there, I mean, Matt's not ready. And look, he doesn't have to be ready now. He just should not be on this show, So I don't know if he was hunted down, or if he literally signed up himself. I don't know what it is. I really want to know. But in the end, you know what? Regardless of how he got there, he got to be a finalist and then he was chosen. Production did Amber dirty. Their segment ends where at some point they have the cameras that are set up in the apartment and the stationary cameras, and it shows Matt leaving at around 1 p.m. or so. So it's like, okay, so Matt, are you working yet? Are you working? Like, do you go to your place of work, your mobile detailing business? Do you have a place to go yet? Like, that's my question. I feel like every time Matt sees Amber, especially perhaps when she comes home from work, she came home at like 5 something. So I'm thinking, yeah, I swear, every time she comes in the house, like he must hear like ka-ching, like dollar signs, like 80K. And he's probably like, ah. So the stationary camera shows Matt leaving after 1 p.m. and Amber is there throughout the entire evening. Matt is nowhere to be found. Then she tells the camera that she has called Matt 4 times. He's not picking up. The only thing she does know, which maybe he must have told her before, that he was going to hang out with one of his friends. Fine. Then it's 10 o'clock and she's like, he's still not home. He's not picking up my calls. Then it's like 11 or past midnight and you hear Amber bawling. She is on the phone with her dad. I mean, this girl is upset. She's like, I don't even know I like him. I don't want to do this anymore. I just give it so much. I have no more to give. I mean, it was so dramatic. But see, I'm sorry. To me, I'm not saying you would not be. Of course, she has a right to be hurt. But I feel like, but now you have connected your body with him in a way. And to me, it's got to hurt more, right? It's got to hurt more because you swore like, oh my gosh, I have disconnected with him. Clearly you don't, because clearly he don't care to leave for more than 12 hours and then not even contact you. So the episode ends and it's after 2 a.m. and Matt is nowhere to be found. And I don't care if Matt is passed out on somebody's couch drunk. Then you are not a responsible adult. You do not need to be in a relationship. You do not need to, no. Then that's it for you. because that's too early to be acting up. And he better not walk in. This is one of the things I tweeted. He better not walk in the door talking about like, oh, my phone died. Bruh, please. Okay. All right. Moving on to Deanna and Greg. So again, I'm really hopeful with them. Really, really hopeful with them. It's Greg's birthday and Deanna. So their gathering of friends and family is like a birthday party for Greg. So he's excited and, really happy that Deanna planned this for him. They get along really well. They're friends, mix really well. And actually, I mean, like, they look like they were just having a lot of fun. Like, I want to be friends with them. Like, I wanted to be up in their apartment and having fun. Then her and Greg have a conversation after everybody leaves. And she goes in depth about what she's been doing these 10 years, y'all. Everybody's been like, what's Deanna been doing? She's been dating herself. She's been doing nothing, whatever. No. Deanna admitted that she was in a bunch of situationships. Millennial term. So, it's that thing. I mean, boy, I swear, dudes really pulled one over on girls. I'm not saying that girls don't use it sometimes, but like, that thing where you are friends and then we just talking, because talking used to be the word, right? But talking was always, like it was like pre going out, right? Pre boyfriend, girlfriend. But people can straight up stay in situationships. Like, oh, it was a situation because we were together, but we weren't together. We were together, but without the label. So Deanna admitted that like she ended up being with guys and, basically it just kind of being about sex. And then when she realized like, wait, this is not what she really wants. Like she actually kind of wants a relationship or something along those lines. She's talking to Greg and Greg basically was like, oh, you started catching feelings. I got really upset. Like actually at this point, I really don't like that term because it alludes to this fact that, or this thing that, oh, you couldn't handle just having sex without liking the person. Oh, you couldn't just have sex with somebody and not want to be their girl. Oh, you started liking him. You wanted him to be your boyfriend, but like you weren't like, strong enough to just like separate the two. And again, can we have an adult conversation, guys? Can we have an adult responsible conversation? And I am going to also put Deanna and Greg in the Christian category because this is how they are presenting themselves. Like, and it's not about perfection. That's not where I'm going. But like, I don't think that should be something that we should accept. I remember one time, I mean, years ago, hearing this person describe yoga, and they were just like, true yoga is not just about the stretching. True yoga is not about like, doing all of these poses and, acro yoga and trying to see like how much they can whatever. It's like real yoga is like, it is the combination of the physical action as well as the spiritual part about it, which is like an actual, like a set of spiritual beliefs, and then the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical connection all together encompasses it all. So to me, if you're somebody that views sex in light of God being the creator of it all, sex should never be a part of emotional, mental, or spiritual connection. So catching feelings, yes, you're supposed to catch feelings. That's part of it. Like, I mean, why is that? Is that a surprise? That's not a surprise, right? We're not surprised. We're not shaming people into catching feelings, right? And I think to me, there's something wrong with you if you're not catching feelings. Then you're not doing it right. To me, then you're not doing it right. You're not experiencing full and complete sex outside of that commitment, right? And to me, Greg is still, even after that, like Greg is basically begging for birthday sex. And I'm like, okay. But my thing is like, did you not hear what she just said? She's looking for an emotional connection. That's why she said, I want to do things different with my husband. Deanna is in this for the long haul, Greg, which you apparently say that you are in it as well. Bruh, you can't wait a couple weeks? I'm like, I know I was getting on Deanna. Deanna, stop it. Come on, for the show. Like, hurry up, girl. Hurry up. Like, stop, whatever. No, well, this is my real self responded to Deanna. Go ahead, girl. You are fine. You are absolutely fine. Deanna said, she's like, you know what? I don't want to put a timestamp on things, but my logical side is really acknowledging the fact that I only know you for 2 weeks. I mean, it's true. I mean, think about it. Even Steve Harvey, even though he's not talking about waiting until marriage, but I mean, even Steve Harvey says, you know, wait 90 days. Wait a period before you start having sex. So calm down, Greg. I mean, it's not cute. Cause then he was like, oh, so you ready? You gon' I'm gonna get some tonight or something. I was like, ugh, it was not cute. It was Greg, sorry. You just to me, you didn't come off cute this episode. You really didn't. You're doing too much. And I already know that you're not bringing your A game to the bed. So I'm really not expecting much for you, Deanna. Sorry, girl. And I'm not going to talk about this, but to me, I do want to talk about, I hope Deanna does talk to him more about this toxic engagement relationship that Greg had, where that woman was probably living up in his HGTV home house. What happened? What happened, Greg? Y'all want to get on Deanna? Oh, Deanna hasn't been in a relationship for 10 years. Deanna hasn't been in No, but what about you, Greg? What happened? Come on. Moving on to Iris and Keith. Remember how I said Keith a church boy? Keith is a church boy. First of all, you cannot be so close with your grandma who's a minister, straight up, like, you know what I'm saying? She's like deaconess, like, I mean, whatever. Like, you can't be so close with her and then talk about I'm not, with the church, whatever. Their segment basically begins with them having breakfast, and then Keith is praying over the breakfast food. Praying in Jesus' name. I mean, it was beautiful. Okay, I mean, the boy knows how to pray. You a church boy. You are a church boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, oh, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. Like, what? Keith, please. Okay. So Keith's grandmother is in the hospital and she's not doing well. So it's definitely family time. Serious family time. And I'm happy that they did not let the cameras into the home because it's not for us to see. But they go and visit his grandmother, and it seems like, I don't know if she's near death or whatever, because they just said that she's continuing to not do well and she's now out of the hospital. So that's gotta be difficult. But Keith invited Iris to come with the family. And I liked how Iris said, hey, I can give you your space because I'm new. I am 2 weeks in, like, I don't need to be all up in your space like that with such a intimate family gathering. But Keith was like, no, like, you come. Oh, Keith, they have their little get together with friends and family, or basically friends. And, but family, but I started going crazy too because Keith was like, oh, these are my brothers. But I think he only has one brother. When I look back at the initial episode, he talks about his baby brother, which I was hoping that his brother or same age uncle was like his age or older. Younger. Iris is coming off hella cornball in this episode because she done told her friends about Keith losing the ring and then made him retell the story again. It was so stupid. I was like, okay, Iris, honestly, it's because you're cute. It's because you're cute. Because honestly, if it wasn't for that, I bet you Keith would have been like, no, this ain't gonna work. Then whatever, friends come, they have a good time, whatever. Then they leave. Oh, sorry. No, before they leave, Iris starts to have a meltdown. Why? Because I guess whatever juice and drinks that they brought for the gathering ran out. So then Keith's friend went into the fridge and started drinking the lemonade that was in the fridge. So Iris is believing that, like, okay, whatever is put out is for everybody, but then anything else is in the fridge that's ours and is not for anybody to drink. She then she doesn't even wait for people to leave to lose it. She's like, no, I got a real attitude right now. 2-drink minimum. What? Girl, shut up. Oh my gosh. What? When they leave, she talks to Keith about it because this is a big deal. And she's going in about like, they're disrespecting their marriage. And Keith is like, well, my friends always know that like when they come over, like they can have whatever they want, like to eat or drink or whatever, and it's fine. Mind you, y'all, they did not drink an expensive bottle of champagne. They did not ravage the entire fridge and make a bunch of like clean them out. They drank from the bottle of lemonade. $4, girl, at most. Go to the store and rebuy it. And the fact is, y'all ran out. What are you gonna do? Come on. So then she's like, oh, so then what if they were to go into our drawers? Like in like clothing drawers, whatever. What if they could go into our drawers? You'd be okay with that? Keith is lying down. Oh my gosh, Keith is so sexy. He was lying down. He was like, very different. Very different. This man is so patient. Like, I would have to stop myself from like bowing before him. Like, I mean, oh my gosh. I feel like I would almost want to make myself get in trouble just for him to talk to me like that. He was like very different. Very different. He did not lose it. Oh my God. That's attractive. That is attractive. And I think Iris felt herself acting a fool. She just wouldn't relent though. And then she was like, but I just think it's just disrespectful to our marriage, whatever. And then Keith was just like, about juice? Like, everything he said, it was just so beautiful. I do think there are principles that Iris is touching on, which I do think is worth discussing. Because the fact is, yes, it is now no longer just Keith's home. It is Keith and Iris's, yes. But I won't talk about that now. I'll, perhaps in like a pop-up episode, whatever, to get into it, because I think it's too long right now. But you went overboard. Your reaction did not fit the crime. Absolutely not. It is one thing that you need to replace, and it was not expensive. I mean, the biggest inconvenience was the fact that you would have had to go out to the store later that day. Like, because if you really, 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 really wanted some lemonade, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, girl. Lastly, we're going to talk about Jamie and Elizabeth. Woo! Y'all. So they have their parents over. So Jamie's dad and stepmom, and then Elizabeth's parents. And Jamie's stepmom asks Elizabeth about her job. And suddenly Elizabeth starts saying, like, I'm hoping to start with sales or something. And was like, wait a minute, hold up. You not working? Because we already got your little sales rep title or whatever it is, distribution something. And the fact that you said that you work for your dad. So, like, I'm confused. Like, I mean, what is that? I just like, hope. And that's what the stepmom was like, hope? Like, how was that not already kind of like established? Like, I'm thinking that this girl has been working, and so it sounds like she's here, there, and everywhere. And mind you, it's like, wait a minute, but you in a high-rise apartment by yourself? Wow. So you were spoiled. And Jamie spilled so much tea this episode. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. So like, after their parents leave, whatever, Elizabeth starts, they talk, they start hanging out on the couch, and Elizabeth does ask Jamie how long his dad has been married to his stepmom and how long his parents have been divorced. His answer was 9 years, a little over 10 years. So clearly not a lot of time between divorce and remarriage. He was clearly getting uncomfortable then. I do not believe, to Elizabeth's credit, I do not believe that she was being malicious. I think she was genuinely inquiring, and I don't think she was being insensitive. I do not. So to you, Jamie, I would say I don't think she was being that way. You were triggered, you got upset, because you're sensitive to the subject. So to Elizabeth, I would say, Elizabeth, clearly a sensitive subject, right? But she is allowed to ask those questions. Maybe what she could have said to put you at ease was, okay, if you don't want to talk about this right now, then that's fine. Even though I guess you kind of didn't give her an opportunity to, because you said, I think Jamie first said, like, kind of like, why all these questions, whatever. And then he at least said in his interview, like, she knows that this is a painful subject. The divorce was really painful. And, you know, she knows that this is sensitive for me. And I'm like, well, it's 2 weeks in, so she don't know you that well. And to me, again, she was not asking with a malicious intent. Maybe it's because Jamie did not want to answer these questions on camera. My thing is, at least say that, you know, but then maybe he didn't want to say that on camera because maybe he knew that that was not going to be, edited out, because this was not from the stationary cameras. This is like production up in your face, watching you answer these questions. And yeah, so that's the downside with reality TV. It's that in the end, it really is not reality, because people are going to want to keep certain things to themselves and off the camera, which, while they have a right, but then it's not truly reality. He lets her know, like, I'm uncomfortable. So then can I, you know, now ask you some questions, which that was petty, you know? It's like one of those things, like, when somebody kind of brings something to you, even though that's not what she was doing, she really was just wanting to talk to you about something, you know. And she even said, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was, you know, kind of making you feel uncomfortable or whatever. She did say that. But he just went in all in, like, I don't know what to tell people about your job. So basically he's like, what the hell do you do? Because I don't know. And then he revealed that, how come you didn't finish college? Lord of mercy, Beth didn't finish college. Why? And then she said something silly, like, she was like, oh, so you gon' really do this. You gon' like, she's giving him those looks, like, you gon' really do this. And it's more of a free spirit, a self-learner. Regarding the job, he was like, so you're okay with your dad just giving you all these opportunities? She was like, of course I am. She's like, yeah. Why wouldn't I take advantage of it? And he was like, well, because it's nepotism. And she's like, yo, you really gonna do this. And she was like, are you embarrassed of me for that or whatever? Then she says, every interview that I've gotten a job offer. Okay, I feel you. I would not have thought to think what Jamie said next were all those interviews with your dad. Whoa! Shots fired! Like, and that's when, like, she just started, like, cursing at him. She was like, oh, man. That wasn't even, no, that wasn't petty. That was literally poo poo, pow pow, pow pow, shots fired. Like, Jamie was on a roll. And then, so then Elizabeth decided to drop the nuclear bomb. I mean, she brought it back to World War II. She was like, I'm going to end this. And she was like, I mean, she kind of went off. She was like, okay, this is the whole thing. I'm not even going to get into it, but about like, oh, we have a lot of sex. No, we don't. Da, da, da. And then she was like, oh my gosh, but you don't even like give me a back rub or like rub my feet or whatever. You don't even romance me. We just have like boring Caucasian, basic Caucasian sex. Bam, bam, done. I literally was like, and then Twitter went wild. I mean, wild. And Jamie packed his bags and his cat and was like, I'm out. Deuces. I mean, he was like, I am not here for this. You are not going to shame me with my basic Caucasian sex. Boom, boom, done. How dare you? Yes, Elizabeth took it there. I mean, I like literally, I mean, I'm sad. I'm sad because you know what? In the end, oh, sorry, I forgot to say this. When they were first kind of like a little bit at each other's throats after the family dinner, like, Jamie decided to leave. And then he came back with flowers and said, I want to talk to you. I want to have a conversation. He was like, I brought you flowers. And because, you know, he's like, I know that you want flowers. So he brought flowers to me. He extended like the olive branch but then was willing to sit down and do the work. Excellent. But Elizabeth was way too childish and immature and petty to be able to do it. Really sad. So we totally have the cliffhanger. Matt is nowhere to be found. Jamie bounced, took his cat and left. And I mean, Iris is going buck wild over some lemonade, but y'all, the black couples are fine. They fine, y'all. They know sex having fine, okay? So, woo! Let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video if you like it, and hopefully we'll continue the conversation if I do a pop-up this weekend, and let me know what you think. I mean, right? Y'all, this episode, if you haven't watched it yet, watch this episode. It was by far the best episode. So much drama. All y'all were saying from like, oh my gosh, it's just drawn out. All this honeymoon stuff is boring. It's boring. Well, production gave it to y'all this episode. I mean, like, y'all got it. We got everything. Everything. Okay? All right. So I will see you next week. Bye.